Hey there, this is lesson 4.5, quadratic equations. We're going to start solving quadratic equations today. We're going to look at two different methods. We're going to look at the factoring method and the graphing method. So let's start with the factoring method. Wherever the graph of a function f of x intersects the x-axis, f of x equals 0. A value of x for which f of x equals 0 is called a zero of the function. So these answers that we are finding are also called zeros. So to solve by factoring, what you do first is you get your quadratic equal to 0. Because we know if you multiply any two numbers together and you get 0, you know that either one or both of those numbers have to be 0. Right? So here, if I factor this, so I'm going to factor this. This is a riddle. So I know I'm going to go x minus here. And if I multiply to get a positive and add to get a negative, I'm going to have a double negative. Multiplies to give me 6, adds to give me -5, would be -2 and -3. So I factored my quadratic here, and it's equal to 0. So then now, since I'm multiplying two factors and getting 0, I know that either one or both of them are 0. So I take my first factor, set it equal to 0, and solve it to find out that one of my answers is 2. And then I would take my second factor, set it equal to 0, and solve that to find out that my second answer is 3. So the two solutions there, or the two zeros, are 2 and 3. Next one, solve by factoring. Well, the first step is you have to get it equal to 0. So I'm going to have to add over this 12 to get it equal to 0. So I'm looking at x squared minus 7x plus 12 equals 0. I have another riddle. So I'm going to go x minus, because if I'm multiplying to get a positive and adding to get a negative, I need a double negative. Multiplies to give me 12, adds to give me -7 is going to be -3 and -4. So then my first factor, x minus 3, if that's 0, then x is going to equal 3. My second factor, if x minus 4 equals 0, my other solution is going to be 4. All right, next one. Got to get it equal to 0 first, so I'd have 2x squared minus 8x equals 0. Move that 8x to the other side. So looking there, I see I first have a greatest common factor. I can bring out a 2x. If I bring out a 2x from 2x squared, I'm left with x. Minus if I bring a 2x out of 8x, I'm left with 4. So then my first factor is 2x. So I'd set 2x equal to 0. So 2x equals 0. My first solution is 0. And my second factor, x minus 4. If x minus 4 equals 0, x equals 4. All right, so that's how you solve by factoring. You get it equal to 0. Then you set your factors equal to 0. Because if you multiply and you get 0, either one or both have to be 0. All right, solving by graphing. So here, if I want to figure out where my x's equals 0, well, I can think about where y is going to be 0. So where y is 0 is always the x-axis, right? Anywhere you go on the x-axis, y is going to be 0. So what I can do is graph my quadratic here and figure out where does it cross the x-axis, right? Wherever it crosses is going to be a 0, a solution. So something we haven't done yet, let's look at our graphing calculator. So we know that when we go to y equals, we can graph, right? We spent a lot of time graphing without the calculator last chapter, so now let's check this out. So if I'm saying that y is 0, where I cross the x-axis, then I'm substituting in here y equals the equation. We've got x squared, let's see, what was it? Plus 2x minus 24. Right, so I can graph it, and I can see, wow, that was fast. The whole parabola doesn't fit on there, but what I'm interested in is where it crosses the x-axis. These are the values that are going to make it equal to 0. So I can go to my table then. If I go second graph, I can get to the table, and I can see I'm looking for where y is going to be 0. So there I have a point of 4, 0. So I'm going to have to graph it. I know I'm at 4, 0. From 4, 0, it's going up forever, right? From there, it goes to 11, 24, 39. Holy cow. So from there, it's going up forever. Let's see, going the other way, at 3, I'm at -9. That will fit on my graph. 3, -9. So there we are. And it goes down like crazy forever. It falls off. And then let's see where it picks up. I'm actually going to have to scroll here, aren't I? So I can see the next point I'm going to be able to fit on there. I've got a -4, nope, -5, -9, and then there I can see my other 0 is at -6, 0. So I've got some points here. What was it? -5, -9, there's a point. And then I had -6, 0, and then this started to go up like crazy forever. So what I'm interested in are these x values where it crosses the x-axis, because that's where y is 0. So one of my answers here would be -6. My other answer is 4, because that is where it crosses the x-axis. All right, let's look at another one. So again, the first thing you're going to have happen is it has to be equal to 0. So I'm looking at 2x squared plus 7x minus 15 equals 0. Right? So if that 0 is your y, you can graph it in your calculator. So I'm going to go back to my calculator, back to y equals. I can clear out the old guy. The new guy is 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. I can graph him and see what he looks like. Sweet. So it looks like he's crossing at 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, and in between 1 and 2. So I can go to my table here. So it looked like it crossed at -5. I can verify that it does because I have the point -5, 0. So -5, 0. So one of my answers is -5. Right? So that's where it was going up like crazy, down like crazy. I don't know why I put an arrow there. And we've got some other points so that we can see it's going to start coming back around. So we're in our negatives, Whoa, I'm not going to find a 0 going the other way, right? I can see I have the point 1, -6, and then it goes to 2, 7. So I have 1, -6, and then it goes up to 2, 7. But what that tells me is, if I know that my y value goes from a negative to a positive, if it changes sign, then I had to have passed 0, right? If your y value goes from positive to negative or negative to positive, you had to have passed 0. So here I know that I crossed in between 1 and 2. The downfall of the graphing method is, where did I cross between 1 and 2, right? Because there's infinitely many numbers between 1 and 2. So where exactly is that number? Well, good news is your calculator can tell you, right? If you look at your graph here, you want to go to calc, which is above trace. So if you hit second trace, it takes you to calc. Remember what these are called? They're called zeros. Where you're crossing the x-axis there is called a 0. So if you pick number 2, it says left bound. What that means is go somewhere to the left of where it's crossing the x-axis. Hit enter. Then it says right bound, so go somewhere to the right of where it crosses the x-axis. Hit enter. It says guess. I never take a guess, right? You can if you want to. I just hit enter and it's going to tell you the answer. So where y is 0, this one is not so ugly, x is 1.5. So again, if you go second trace, it gets you to calc. You can calculate a 0, number 2. Left bound, go to the left of where it crosses, anywhere to the left. Go to the right of where it crosses, hit enter. It says guess. I say no thank you. I hit enter and it tells me that it's crossing at 1.5 because that is where y is 0. So our two answers there are -5 and 1.5. So graphing method, get it equal to 0, graph it, see where it crosses the x-axis.